Hello, hello. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Hit that like and subscribe if you like this type of content. This is just going to be a deck review for you guys for Goddesses and Sirens by Stacey DeMarco, illustrated by Jimmy Manton. Okay, I've been wanting to get this deck for a very, very long time. It is the feminine counterpart to their Gods and Titans deck as well. So if this interests you, you may want to head over there and get that as well. I also did a review of that in the playlists for you guys, okay? So typically how I do this, I just kind of show you how it comes packaged, show you all the tangible aspects of everything, do a flip through of both the book and the deck, okay? And then at the end, I like to pull a card for you guys and do sort of a mini reading, okay? So let's get started. So here's the box, nice and big Oracle, okay? Sturdy box, your pretty standard box a little bit, okay? The inside does have a little insert here to put the cards and the book on top, okay? So if you like to keep it in the box on a shelf or something, okay? Sides, and then on the back, okay? 40 cards in this deck with a 176-page guidebook. So it just goes through all of the goddesses and sirens throughout all the mythologies, and I love what these two do because they cover quite a bit. You know, they'll pick a few Greek, a few Egyptian, a few this, a few that, a few that. They're all across the globe, right? And in this particular deck, there's not a lot of repeats from other decks, so that's kind of awesome, right? You get to learn more about a lot of these wonderful energies, okay? So we'll get through it. And they usually include kind of like a little story and how it applies to the message for that particular energy, what they're teaching, okay? So the book is rather thick, as you can see. But it's not a large book, okay? So you do have your table of contents, all alphabetized, which is super handy, okay? In the beginning, you do get a section on how to use the cards, a lovely little introduction here. Okay. Should you desire to go through and do all of that, there's also like incantations and invocations for each with supplies for those that like doing that, okay? And then you have your spreads, and then the card messages directly, okay? All black and white, but you still get the card itself so you can kind of tell that you have the right one, okay? And then the general meaning, okay, the key word for it, and then a whole story, how it applies to the message, and then at the end you typically have like the upright message, and then you have the shadow side when it's flipped, okay? Symbols, invocation, usually at the end. I believe that's it, yes, okay? So it's all in alphabetical. And then in the end, you have a bit about the artist, as well as, and they didn't have this for the Gods and Titans, a glossary of names, which I think is really helpful, including how to pronunciate their names as well. I love that because sometimes we have a bit of a challenge with that. Love it. Okay. So, as far as the cards, put these up front for you. They look pretty much the same on the backside, okay? There's a bit of semi-gloss to them. They're about a hand size, okay? I have medium-sized adult hands, so. And then the flexibility of the card is pretty flexible. So they're really durable, but at the same time, easy to use right out the gate, okay? You probably only need to shuffle it a handful of times just to get your energy in it, all right? So we'll go ahead and do a flip through. Let me scooch that back a little bit, just so we have some space. All right, Amaterasu. There we go. Make sure it gets all nicely. There we go. No glare there from the lamp. That's good. Aphrodite. Artemis. They do like to go Greek, not Roman, with both these decks, I've noticed. Athena. Baba Yaga. Bast. Boudica, Bridget. Let me make sure it's like, okay, there we go. Autofocus doesn't really work on this old device. Shit. All right. And as you know, spellings of some of the names would be different depending on what region of the world, right? Like, for example, we have the Greek here. Come on, darling, focus. There we go. With Hecate. So it would be Hecate, right? I just noticed that with Freya being different spelled for the region where they're worshipped, right? Kuan Yin is another example of that. I do believe she's in this deck. Michelle. Joan of Arc. Jeanne of d'Arc. Yep, there's Kuan Yin. There she is. And they went with the majority use, not the Chinese with that one, I think. Lakshmi. And I love that Lilith is in this deck. Okay, same thing with Baba Yaga. Because all these energies are very important for teaching us lessons, good, bad, and the ugly, right? It doesn't always have to be high vibrational or positive, seemingly positive, right? Ma'at. Morgan Fay. The Muses. And I absolutely adore how these are designed. Typically, we see these ladies as sex symbols, and I don't like that either. They seem powerful here. They seem strong as they are. Sorry, I almost messed that. Oh, yeah. Pele. And as you know, every one of these energies represent a lot of things. So one deck isn't going to get all of it necessarily. They might focus on one particular aspect because there's a lot of duplicate aspects across many of them, right? Energies are very similar because they mirror each other. More than likely because they all carry the same energy for different people. Pomona. Come on, darling. Focus. In the interest of equality. Love it. We have different ones here, not just deities and angels and ascended masters. We also have powerful figures here too, okay? Love this. And I love how the sirens are depicted. Not as birds, not as mermaids. Valkyries. Yamaya. And White Buffalo Woman. Right, so let's do a shuffle so you can see how this deck manipulates in the hands. I'll do it a number of ways and then pull how I feel comfortable, okay? That's what I always kind of suggest doing. Every deck is different, so they all have different sizes. That shuffled pretty well right out the gate. First time ever. All right, sometimes you might need to kind of break it in a little bit. Get it comfortable for your energy and how you work with your hands. I did notice a bit of a curve, so I was going in the opposite direction. All right. As time goes on, it'll straighten itself out. Let's see how it splits. Pretty easy. Let's see how it fans out for those that like to do the fan out method. It fans out pretty well, actually. That looks really nice, doesn't it? All right. All right. Now, because you do have shadow sides, you're going to want to actually get the flip of it. Ooh, that's nice. I'll tell you what, the Gods of Titans deck wasn't this easy to use right out the box. I had to break that sucker in quite a bit because it was very stiff. card type here, and I think is actually pretty decent. So you don't have to work it very hard just to get your energy in there. That's nice. All right, I'm going to do a side shuffle, and we're going to pull a card for you guys to see what's up. All right, one for the collective, please, Spirit. I'll read the whole thing. Ooh, look who showed up in the reverse. Okay, so shadow side meaning is most important there. We have the muses and inspiration. So maybe somebody's feeling like they're lacking the inspiration at this time. Let me get this really close up. I'm going to put it in the upright, though, for you. Hopefully there's not too much glare. Okay. Alrighty. Inspiration and the muses. Allow yourself to be inspired. Find or be your own muse. If you're feeling uninspired, do something you do not normally do. It's time to indulge yourself in music, song, dance, and poetry. The muses were the very embodiment of an enjoyable and cultured life in ancient Greece. In a time when entertainment revolved around the spoken word through traditions of poetry and theater, the Mousa, the goddesses of song, were an integral part of life. Muses. In early descriptions of the muses, hold their number at 3. They were Melete, practice, Memini, sorry, memory, and Oida, song. Later, that number increased to 3 times 3, which is 9. The 9 muses included Calliope, writing poetry, Clio, writing history, and Talia, comedy. The muses appear in various myths, and many shrines were dedicated to them. The shrines at Delphi and Parnassus were sacred to them, and the god Apollo, their patron. Today, the term muse often applies to any person, but particularly a woman who inspires an artistic endeavor. Fashion designers often choose living muses to inspire their collections. Musicians still write songs dedicated to those who inspire them, whether it's through love or a breakup. Actors still invoke the muses, and the ancient symbol of the actors' masks is associated with the muses. Allow the muses to sing themselves into your life and inspire you to do better. Muses are not just for creative people. They are for anyone who wishes to follow an interest or continually grow towards something worthwhile. We all receive inspiration from someone or something at times, and this enthusiastic energy is that of the muses. If you need to inspire yourself to work on a big project, expand your horizons, or develop a new skill, the muses will be here. On the shadow side, since it did come up, obsession is the darker side of muse energy. History is full of descriptions of obsessive love or interest gone wrong, where the magnetism of a muse carries people away. Strong muse energy is always inspiring and provoking. You just have to ensure that it's an inspiration towards something that is healthy. Okay? So, this might be a time to redirect for some in terms of a creative or inspirational endeavor. Okay? It might become a little unhealthy right now. Okay? There you go, guys. Hopefully that helps. And if you enjoy that, I will have a playlist somewhere for all the others. Okay? Bye.